So the Journal published this story tonight after lots of buzz and lots of rumors and whispers about what it would contain. Status published a story just hours ahead of time, reporting that this story was in the works and that Donald Trump and the White House had caught wind of it and were very upset about it. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I had heard earlier that there was this story. I mean, I think, like you said, Washington had really been abuzz over the last 36 hours. So we're re-recording our podcast. We record usually Thursday mornings. We're re-recording it Thursday night because of all the developments. And over the last 36 hours, Washington has been, rumors have been circulating about what is going to be published about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And so earlier today, it became clear to me, I received a tip that it was the Wall Street Journal preparing this explosive story. And the person that initially tipped me off basically said that it was going to have details about a birthday card that Donald Trump had sent Jeffrey Epstein, indicating that they shared, the same taste in women. And from there, I made, I don't know how many calls, I'd say dozens of reach outs trying to figure out what was going on here. And we were able to confirm that, yes, the Wall Street Journal not only had a story in the works, which it ultimately did publish, but that Donald Trump himself was so infuriated by the story that he personally called Wall Street Journal editor-in-chief Emma Tucker and tried to kill the story and tried to kill this Epstein story. And now the Journal did not comment on our story. We were able to publish that story ahead of the Journal actually publishing their own story about the Epstein situation, which was it had all the details that we said it was going to have. It's about this birthday card that Donald Trump sent Jeffrey Epstein. But really remarkable, I think, that the White House applied so much pressure to Rupert Murdoch's broadsheet, trying to do everything they could to make sure the story did not see the light of day. And it really runs counter to Donald Trump because, again, he's supposed to be the guy who releases the Epstein files. Not only has he not done that, but he's actually been working behind the scenes to kill a story about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, let's actually dig into the story a little bit. So the Journal published the story tonight. It says that in 2003, when Ghislaine Maxwell was preparing a gift for Jeffrey Epstein, this is prior to him being, arrested and charged, for his 50th birthday, that she organized this birthday album in which Donald Trump's name was included, and along with a personal note that said, "Happy birthday." It's a little bit, there's more to it here, but in short, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret," Donald Trump wrote. And it's got his signature, a squiggly Donald, below a drawing of a woman's breasts, apparently, and apparently it mimicked pubic hair. So there's quite a bit here. Now, obviously, as soon as this was published, it included a denial in the story from Donald Trump, saying that this is a fake story, it's a fake thing, it's not me. I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. It is not my language. It is not my words. Okay. And then afterward, he raged on True Social that he's going to sue the Wall Street Journal. This, of course, is in line with other lawsuits, which he also mentioned, and I thought that was interesting. He mentioned the fact that he had previously successfully, in his telling, sued CBS 60 Minutes and sued ABC Disney over the George Stephanopoulos segment, and he used that as sort of, recent historic proof that he means what he's saying, that I'm going to sue you over this story. And I had threatened this ahead of publication. Now, before we published our story today, after we caught wind of this, we reached out to the White House repeatedly, and they did not respond. And Oliver, you had spoken to the Journal and to everybody in this whole space, and it was no one wanted to talk about this, which I think is also what set the rumor mill abuzz in the last few days. And look, this is coming on the backdrop. The most important reason why this story exists is it is up against the backdrop of the last week and a half, where the Epstein files scandal has just absolutely exploded in MAGA media. Donald Trump has decided to turn on his own supporters. He's calling his base weaklings who've now fallen for a Democratic plot. Of course, this is, that's outrageous because it was Trump himself, members of his own administration that he appointed who had whipped up the base into a frenzy about Jeffrey Epstein, about the allegations that there is a client list, quote unquote. And then the Justice Department came out and said, none of this is real. Jeffrey Epstein did actually kill himself. And there's nothing more to see here, folks. And Trump has been on a rampage to try to tamp down the backlash from his own supporters. And so the Journal story landing in this moment, I think is incredibly significant. And I think it might, I'm curious what you think about where it's going to go from here now.
Well, one, the Wall Street Journal would be very careful. I'm sure they're extremely careful about publishing the story, and especially so because it's about the president. They know it's going to blow up everywhere. Everyone's going to read the story. And he's not making a secret. He told the Journal on Tuesday night when they reached out for comment to the White House that if you publish this story, I'm going to sue you. And so he made it very clear. So I'm sure the Journal's lawyers, I'm sure the Journal's editors, they reviewed this story. Donald Trump, we should say, has gone on Truth Social since and confirmed our story or our reporting that he did call Emma Tucker and tell her, not to publish the story, apply pressure not to publish the story. In fact, Donald Trump himself said he called Rupert Murdoch and told him not to publish the story. And so the folks at the Journal, at News Corporation, they were very well aware that Donald Trump was not happy about this and likely to take some legal action. And they still published it, which suggests that they are very confident in the story. And often, when you're reporting a story as a reporter, a lot more perhaps than you are able to get in print. So I'm sure the Journal has plenty of evidence to support their reporting, or else they would have not published it. And it's also noteworthy. They went out and they talked to Donald Trump on Tuesday, according to the Journal. So it's Thursday evening when they published the story. So they were really probably making sure that every single sentence in this was bulletproof, ironclad, watertight, and would not, there was nothing for him to go after. He's going to, what do you think? I assume he will sue. And that will set up this really interesting clash between him and Rupert Murdoch.
I think he will sue too. I think he loves to sue.
Does he want to go to discovery though? I mean, does he really want to go down that route?
I think he doesn't even have to get there. I mean, it's just to win the optics of this moment right now.
He could sue, right? But is Rupert Murdoch going to go down the Bob Iger, Skydance path, the David Ellison path, and Sherry Redstone path, and settle this lawsuit? It doesn't seem like Rupert Murdoch, of all the people, it seems like he's the one that would not do that. If I had to guess, he's not going to cede all that power to Donald Trump. So theoretically, is Donald Trump going to then drop his lawsuit? Because wouldn't that be even more embarrassing? So, but if it goes forward, it's going to go to discovery, and that seems like it'd be bad news for Donald Trump. So I don't really know what the play is here. Maybe.
Donald Trump also is known to not use technology, right? Not to write emails, not to write text messages. There may be very little contemporaneous, but that aside, I think he relishes a lawsuit fight. I think he can't wait to post on Truth Social that he's suing the fake news into the ground. There's been so much animosity built up between him and Rupert Murdoch, even though Fox News, the crown jewel, the most watched cable channel oftentimes, and is filled with Trump supporters, with hosts who continue to fill the air with Trump's viewpoints, the culture wars that Trump delights in. And but look, the Wall Street Journal, to its credit, and we have reported this many times, has continued to produce fantastic journalism. Its editorial board has surprised us many times with its tough editorials about Donald Trump's policies. I think those have honestly outshined what we're seeing now from the Washington Post under Jeff Bezos, which has really sort of cowered in this administration. But we're not seeing that from the Journal, and that editorial voice, the editorial board editorials themselves, I think suggests that Rupert doesn't mind a fight. And I think that, maybe he doesn't have much to lose here.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see exactly what happens, but I would guess that there's going to be more reporting that comes out. This is probably only the beginning. And I also would note too, what's interesting is, on one hand, while Rupert's Fox News has been, or Wall Street Journal has been very tough on Donald Trump, his Fox News outlet, which is actually reaching more of the Trump fans, has actually been pretty deferential to Donald Trump. And so tonight, even though his newspaper has broken the story that literally everyone is talking about, Fox News is largely, as far as I can tell, ignoring that story and running a bunch of other stuff on the air in prime time. Now, that probably will change. I'm sure they'll mention it on air in the morning and afternoon shows, but they're not really leaning into it like the way MSNBC and CNN are right now. And I think, it's such an interesting dynamic in Murdoch media, where you can have the Journal doing this incredible reporting, and then Fox News just turning a blind eye.
And we should say too that with a lawsuit, if there is one, that the Wall Street Journal stands on pretty firm ground. The First Amendment is particularly strong for news organizations to publish reporting, especially about public figures. The President of the United States obviously is one. Mm-hmm. They're in a fantastic position. I actually think they really have nothing to worry about here. So the idea that he's going to file this lawsuit, it's
how about probably, it? And frankly, all those other lawsuits, right? Like the 60 Minutes CBS News lawsuit, like he had the only reason they settled that lawsuit is because they want to merge with Skydance, right? There's no actual legal argument that Donald Trump had that was going to prevail in court. And so, Murdoch probably doesn't need anything, at least right now. And so perhaps he'll just fight it.
Who knows? Maybe he's trying to merge Tubi with like Pluto at the moment. There's a big streaming merger on the horizon.
I don't know if does that need FCC approval? I don't think so.
So that's right.
So anyway,
we'll see. So the thing that I'm looking forward to now in this is we're still in such the early moments after this big story has published. How is MAGA media? This is like kind of the most important part here in my mind. How are they going to react to this? I saw JD Vance immediately run defense on X tonight, right? Calling this, expressing his Christian values, calling it bullshit immediately on X. And I saw Laura Loomer actually question it, which I found very surprising, or maybe somewhat surprising. Laura Loomer immediately came out and suggested that maybe this isn't him. This doesn't seem like him. I don't know if he would do this. Really suggesting that maybe MAGA will be split on this one, on whether or not they should believe this. There's so many photographs of Trump and Epstein together. It's such an ingrained part of the history. But two problems with the story that I think are going to raise questions for MAGA media that's already extremely skeptical to press. One, there is this letter that the Journal is extensively quoting from, including this drawing, but there's no photo, there's no image of it in the story. And I think that gives them some, I think that gives them the room to question, is this real or is this like a fake hit job? And two, this has been out there. This has been part of the Justice Department's file for some time. And why are we only now hearing about it? Why are the knives out for him now to destroy him? This is part of the deep state that's going to come after him. You could just see where conspiracy theories would ramp back up in his support.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I did see that Elon Musk, I believe, also posted that he didn't believe it. So we'll see. But it certainly puts Donald Trump in a very tough spot. And he's already been facing mounting backlash from MAGA media, a really unprecedented backlash that has shown that he no longer has control over this information environment that he has really, helped create over the last 10 years. And I think it's too early to tell how they're going to react to this particular story, but it certainly suggests there's more there. And I think everyone knows that Donald Trump did have this relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, that they did cross social circles, that they were pals back in the 90s. There's probably a lot more stories there, and there are probably people who want to talk. And I wonder if Maxwell, she, according to the Daily Mail, maybe not the best source there, but according to the Daily Mail, she was willing to testify in front of Congress. I'm curious, is she going to talk? What's going to happen there? So I think the story is only just beginning, John. Thank you for watching Power Lines. For more analysis and insight, subscribe to our YouTube channel down below, like this video, and you can watch more of us right over here.